for me, that was my demo. And I said that, you know, in the group, and I say that all the time. So if that's the case and you don't really like working in a demo, then just put a very small amount. There are brokers out there all over the place that allow you to do $10, you know, $5, and you can trade micro lots as your demo account, because you can't go any further. Even if you have like $1,000, leverage, you can only do a micro lot, and you know you can't do too much damage. That's it. Sorry, guys. That's all. I figured I'd piggyback on Mehbz. He was hitting some great points.
That's all good. I think, well, I just want to say one thing real quick, and then we can open it up, is that we're not saying this for Jeff's benefit. Like, we're being honestly sincere. If I didn't feel this helped me, I wouldn't even be doing this. I don't think Maria would, or Mehbz, or anybody would speak good on Jeff's name or the program or anything else. Is that we want to help you guys who are new or who just joined the past few months, cut your learning curve in half, and just get you away from the pitfalls that took us so long to get where we want to be. So I just want to say it's sincere, and that, like I say, if I really didn't feel this way, or Maria, we wouldn't be doing this. So
I say it all the time, Kyle. I don't get paid to tote Jeff. And here's another thing, guys. When you read reviews on other people, be very specific and very careful how you read them. That's why if you read my review on Jeff's system, I actually said, I've been trading on my own for over a year now. And, you know, I'm consistent and profitable. When you know, a lot of people, they review it, just like you guys are not consistent, maybe not profitable yet, but you love Jeff's stuff. That you can love somebody's stuff, but if you're not gaining anything from it, you got to read those reviews. And eventually your reviews are going to be the same as ours. You know what I mean? So you're going to get there.
Sorry,
we're not making anything off of Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. We're not getting paid for this. I thought we were.
No. I don't know. Jeff might have did a trade early in the week. He can cut us a profit. Yeah. But let's go ahead and open this up, because it's getting towards the halfway point now. So
and one more thing, Fergie, I love you, bro.
So if anybody wants to go ahead and talk, we can open it up now. I'll unmute everybody. So
yes, Dirk. Thank you again for sharing your stories. So it's very nice to hear your experiences, and that you also had to struggle a lot, and now much more important that you are successful and consistent and profitable as well. So what would be interesting for me, when was the point because that's also my problem, you gained more discipline. So I have the problem. So I'm realizing my pitfalls, I'm realizing my mistakes, and so on, but I have still not the discipline to follow my rules. And the most I'm always breaking. The most important of my rules is following the rules. So did you have the same problems?
I still have the same problems.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I just said it in the live room the other day. I broke one of my cardinal rules and traded off my phone. So to me, you have to evaluate why you're breaking your rule. To me, remember, you guys know I've been under a renovation, so I haven't been able to trade for a month. And I was just like salivating. I was like, Now, I used risk management. I said it. Everything went right. I used risk management. My stop loss was 5 pips. I gained like 50 pips out of it, and I got out of it. That's all well and good. But why did I break that rule? Even though it was a good trade and I followed, why did I break that rule? That means that I still have greed issues. And I need to check that, because that could have easily broken my streak and my trading, and it could set me off in a way that I don't want to go. So it was a great trade, and you have to evaluate it in the good trades. But and I don't post my trades in the group for you guys, because I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. I send them only to Jeff, and hopefully he critiques it, and sometimes he critiques it, and I learn from there, because you have to understand, you got to get to why you're doing what you're doing. Nobody else can really tell you that. I can see it, but you have to know it. I can only lead you to the water. So you have to know what your demons are, Derek. That's what I got from it. I mean, I don't know, hopefully maybe somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just speak really quickly. you just gotta know yourself in the trading industry. I mean, when you're trading, Maria knows her greed problems. I had over trading problems. Mehbz was trading wrong times of the day. For me, some of my greatest, like, I guess, level ups is when I hate to say it, when I blew an account and I was forced to take a break. Um, if you can just sit back and just reflect and not always be on the charts, sometimes you just realize, like, I just equate Force like a video game. It's like when you come back to a game, you couldn't beat the level, and you come back, and all of a sudden you're able just to roll right through it. That's kind of how it was for me with some of my discipline issues. So when I had to sit on the sidelines, it makes you just reflect. That's all I gotta say on that one.
So
Yeah.
just one
Okay,
thing
thanks.
before, I'm sorry. Listen, I know Jeff couldn't make the training session last Saturday, and I've been kind of, like I said, I've been up in the world, but this is going on YouTube, so I don't really want to say anything or show anything here, but if Jeff's okay with it, maybe I can chime in on a training session or hold one if you guys are up for it, to show you guys. I've shown some of you guys individually maybe what you should be waiting for, because somebody did bring it to my attention. When you become a little bit more advanced, you kind of forget what it's like to struggle to see the setup and how narrow your scope is, right? Because mine and the guys are kind of broadened, right? But we have to narrow that down to be where you guys are to understand it. So maybe we could hold some kind of training session so I could show you. And it's nothing more than what Jeff teaches. It's just the way that I see it. You know what I mean? So if you guys are up for that and Jeff is okay with that, maybe we'll do that on a different time frame where this isn't going on national
Yeah, that's good.
YouTube.
And I think
you know what I'm saying, Kyle?
You make a good point. Yeah, you make a good point too. I mean, regardless of how much I try to trade like Jeff, I'm never going to trade exactly like him. And I'm always going to do certain things that I feel comfortable with versus what he would do. And that's okay. And I've gotten to that point where it's like, it's okay. If I don't do everything to a T, I try to, but sometimes I'm just not going to see things the way he sees it, and it's the way Maria would see it, or Mehbz, or anybody else in this group. And that's okay, but just try your best.
Right, and
yeah. So
that was
Yeah,
the whole point there of Jeff's stuff. You don't have to trade like Jeff or me or Kyle or whatever. As long as you see and understand the material, you get to scope this and form this and scope this into your own trading style, what you feel comfortable with. And that's why you have to know who you are. And trust me, losing money and finding, not being able to, I was self-directed. I named myself Helen Keller. Really, in every group that I was in, because I couldn't see a setup coming if it was right in front of me. You know what I mean? And now to be able to do it on my own, it's a freeing thing. So you have to understand what's blocking you, and you'll get there. We'll help you, and we'll get there. I honestly think that people don't know what they're looking for and what to back test sometimes, because I wasn't. And people are so cryptic when they explain shit. Gurus explain it with so much fluff that you really don't know what it is they're trying to explain. That's why I love Jeff. There's no fluff in there. There's here, this is what you should be seeing. You should be going here. This is why. But sometimes we still can't get it. Maybe you guys need it from another pair of eyes. But I think somebody made it clear to me that my view is broader, and his view is kind of, it needs to be narrowed in. So maybe we could do that for you guys. You know what I mean?
that's great. Any other questions? Whoever wants to speak up.
This is Benita. So I have a question. Just wanted to know, do you guys, after you place trades, are you doing any chart analysis, post trades? Because I think what I found lately has been, well, the last few months has been helpful, is because I'm over trading times, is what is helpful for me is to document every trade. And if I have to document every trade, and if I've over traded, that takes a long time. So that's really helped me. But wanted to know, do you guys do any documentations of trades? And do you guys, analyze your trades? Do you see like what you could have done differently if you, took the trade at the right time, if it was the correct trade to take? Because I think sometimes that is helpful, but I don't know that everybody does that. And if it was helpful, if you guys were doing that, if you do that.
For me, it's more, I don't document all my trades. I record them sometimes to look at it for my YouTube channel, but more often than not, it's kind of a mental thing, and I can go back And I mean, I know what I did wrong during the trade. If it went wrong, I can kind of self-reflect at that time. Yeah, if you're over trading, it's going to take you a long time to go and document every trade. So me personally, I mean, I just take a mental note of what I did wrong. I don't really need to write it down, but everybody's different. But for me, yeah, it's a mental note. And during the trade, the course of the trade, if it goes wrong, I kind of already know what I could have did better at that time.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the things that I'm like kind of doing is the fact that I would mark up my trades and see how it executed, and then probably, as I said, if you start documenting every single thing, then it's just going to be overload and everything. You just got to like kind of like take it with a pinch of salt and try and see how and what you did wrong, if you did anything wrong, and why did the trade work out your way or didn't work out your way. And sometimes I have it on my charts and I make notes on my charts and say, yeah, this was X, it did this, it did a stop hunt, it was price came into a block, imbalance, etc., certain things like that. So obviously what you got to look at is the certain things of like, does this trade matches what you are looking for? Does it get into a zone? Does it get in? Is it a flip zone? Is it like a big figure mark? All these kind of things. And then once you start training your eyes and your brain into them kind of things, it will come like second nature to you. I honestly believe that is so true. When Jeff used to say it to me, I was like, oh, he's just chatting shit. But honestly speaking, it does come to you like a second. It's like if you like learning how to drive, you'll learn how the basics. But when you like get into it, everything becomes second. It becomes natural. You think, oh my god, I can't drive. Or this car's gonna. But then everything becomes so second nature to you that it's like, it's just like it opens up everything, all different avenues of where you do. And but obviously, I still have issues of overtrading. Venetia, I mean, it's nothing that's gonna probably go away anytime soon. Well, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm getting to a point where I'm like, if this trade doesn't work out for me, so be it, catch the nether one or something along them lines. So overtrading is, I think, one of the most biggest fundamental issues that most traders will have because they just want to make that money, quick money. But as I say, this is not it's not a sprint. It's like a long marathon, and you just got to work. You got to build yourself up and everything just to become a successful and be. Main thing is just become that consistent trader, that being profitable and everything, and understanding your kind of limitations of what and how far you can go and everything, because everyone can make money. It's just a matter of fact whether you make it consistently enough, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. That's the goal. That's my goal, to be honest. I just want to be consistent and just become just a better person for it and a better trader, and here to help people as well, because Jeff's taken a lot of time out, and you'd be surprised of how many hours sleep he gets sometimes. It's unbelievable. But I mean, I'm not, yeah, obviously he hasn't told me to say any nice words about him or anything, but this is just genuinely coming from my heart. He is an absolute underrated person. He's just so unbelievable. He's always there to help, and I'm sure all of you, whenever you have any issues, he's always there. He never barks at you or anything. He's always professional. He's always like a friend, and he's just there for you. So take up everything you can from him just to become that better person, and from actually different, from the whole group as well, to be honest.
All right, that was great, Mehbz. Anybody else?
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Yao.
Hey, how you doing?
Pedro, let's talk a little bit about back testing.
Mm-hmm.
What rules do you set out as your standard operating procedure to back test?
You said with the TDI?
I'm talking about back testing. When you guys back test, right?
Yeah.
What do you set out to guide you in your back testing?
Oh, I mean, for me personally, I mean, when I'm back testing, I'm just looking for like, how would I've got the trend right? Liquidity concepts are big in my back testing. So like the same way, like if you're looking to take an entry and you're looking to hone down on the M5 and M1, how could I have got that entry better? Why did this happen? Was there an order block here? Was there a liquidity pool here? Was there something? For me, I'm not looking for like a specific setup when I back test. I'm just looking for things that I would look for in a live session. So, in back testing, everything's still. But live, you got the candles pulsating, you have your nerves, your emotions are attached. So I'm big on the strategy tester to back test and not just looking at a still chart. So if you have the strategy tester, I would suggest that 100% more than just going back through years of data, because you get to see the candles live and everything, actually take a trade instead of just looking like, oh yeah, I would have took that. I mean, really, would you? You don't know that. So I say when you back test, I would just say use strategy tester over just looking through TradingView or your MT4, MT5. And me personally, the strategy tester is 1,000% better. Will get you where you want to be quicker. I mean, if Mehbz or Maria want to talk about that, they can. But
I
for me,
mean,
that's
I do it the opposite way. I can't.
okay.
I'm not. Honestly, I'm not patient enough to wait for the strategy tester, believe it or not. And I know it's an oxymoron to say that because I'm patient enough to wait for a setup, but I just can't. You know, that strategy tester, it's kind of like, you know, if I hear that squeaky noise one more time go off, I think I'm just going to take my computer and just throw it against the wall. But so what I do is I back test on a regular chart, and I'm not looking to back test of where I would take a trade. I look to back test a certain setup, right? So if I'm looking for a setup, right, which is an order block, I go to that setup and I go on every, time frame of why that setup worked and why it didn't work. What's there? AKA at that setup that worked, what was there? And an order block, higher time frame, bias, candlestick pattern, whatever is there. And then I go and see, how many times it worked on a chart and where it failed. Because where it failed is where I find my most helpful, because the ones that work usually have the same type of, and Jeff says it all the time, it's the manipulation and the setup that happens. It's not the same trade, but it's the same pattern of manipulation that happens, right? But the one that fails is the one where it doesn't really happen the same way. So that's what I'm looking for. Whenever I'm backtesting one setup, whatever that setup is, and I'm wondering why it works and why it doesn't. That's the way I backtest. And honestly, I use trend lines. That's it. I use a regular chart and two trend lines to mark off where I'm at, and maybe a box to mark off where I'm at. So when I switch between time frames, I don't go nuts looking for that, time frame. That's it. That's all I use is trend lines and the shaded boxes. That's it.
Yeah, I think similar to me. I mean, like simulator is good for certain people and it works for somebody. Myself, I just use like the charts. So what I'll do is back test on certain things, like as Maria said and Carl have said, like look at blocks and why trades have gone. So if you look at like a higher time frame, you know that it's a H4 block, order block, or a gap, or whatever it is that you're looking for, and you just drill down into your lower time frames and try and see why price reacted to that, what price did. And as Jeff will always say, the characteristics of the market moving is pretty much the same. In a sense, they'll do a stop hunt, they'll take out liquidity, they'll break structure and certain things like that. So when you start looking for them things in those for like back testing, you'll start seeing these things and it will start registering a bit more better and more clearer. I mean, I think a while back I tried to like mark up my boxes and saw that if price comes into here, let's see what it does. It did exactly to what I wanted to do. I didn't take the trade, but I just watched it and said, oh, hold up, this is what's going to do, this is what it's going to do, because I've seen it via back testings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like, don't stress this enough. Do put your study time in, because as I said to you, man, you always get what you get out of these things. If you expect to like this to just fall on your lap and be like the holy grail, no, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be time dedicating on the charts, checking out what works for you, what you find comfortable, and certain things like that. And I think that's like my 2 cents worth of like saying about trying like back testing as much as you can, seeing what it is. You don't need to back test hundreds of pairs, just look at certain pair and see how that moves and certain things like that, and then it will get there. You'll get there in one stage of your trading life if you pursue it, and you'll be like, oh wow, I could have seen this sooner if that made sense and everything along them lines, to be honest. So yeah. That's
I mean, I used to spend an endless amount of hours on the charts. I can't even tell you. It was every day, fighting with my my girlfriend or whatever, or fighting with just losing time with friends, and you're always there. You're always on those charts. What are you looking for? There's nothing there. It was endless. So just know that it does, once you realize it, it really does cut that time out. And not even in half. I don't really spend that much time on the charts anymore. I don't have a trade plan anymore. Getting back to, I don't have, I don't document my trades. Because you become at a level where you don't need to do that. So, you get there, but that takes time. Like right now, my analysis is I'll look today on a Sunday. If I'm going to trade tomorrow, if I see what I need to see, I'll mark it up, and my trade plan is, if it doesn't go there, I don't take the trade. That's my trade plan. It's as simple. It becomes as simple as that. If I don't see it go where I anticipate it going, there's no trade for me. So if I don't see a certain specific way, if I'm unclear in any way about what my pair is doing, I don't trade, because the clear setups will happen so often, it will almost become effortless. So why struggle with the time that you can't see it? And trust me, even as evolved as you are, you've heard Jeff say it many, many times. I'm not clear on it. I'm going to just sit this one out. You know why he does that? Because when he gets the trade, he's so confident in it and he'll make money. So why am I going to give the market makers money when I don't need to? I shut down my computer and I'm out of here. And I could do that the day before. You will be able to do that the day before, 2 days before. Go ahead.
You only trade EU, right? Why did you choose?
Sometimes, yes.
Why did you choose EU?
Honestly, the way I learned to beat the market maker in the beginning, and I learned levels from Jeff. And to me, for me, levels were so clear on EU. When they make a level, it's just so clear. So that's why I chose EU. I didn't and remember back when I started trading EU, it also doesn't have a lot of big spikes. It also doesn't have a lot of big, remember for me, the goal always was to keep my stop loss small. Now, at the time, it was 25 pips, because if you trade GJ, your stop loss is going to be 50 pips when you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're trading GU, sometimes the spikes are out. So I chose EU because of that. It may be slower as a pair, and that's why I chose it. That's why I don't trade exotics. That's why I don't trade gold. That's why I don't trade any of that. So, and now, come forward 4 years later, 5 years later, 4 years, right? 4 years later, I'm down to 4 or 5 pips when I get it right. And let me tell you something. Sometimes 10 pips, I'm like, that's a lot of pips. Oh my God, it hurts.
You need to trade gold, Maria.
Nah, I can't. I can't do it. So, but that's why I chose EU. It's a matter of your, like I said, your taste, your style, your way of being able to handle whatever that pair gives you.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Anybody else got any questions they want to ask or open up?
So Maria, that's why I think the session will be good, because you can maybe go over why you enter or where you enter those 4 to 5 pip trades. And I guess now, are you entering on the 5 minute now? I know you were opposed to it at first, but I assume now
honestly, I rarely use anything less than the 15 minute. That's how good Jeff has gotten me, where, I can tell by the, I don't like to say it, but I can tell by the candlesticks of where they're going to go, so on the 15 minutes. So I don't really need to go lower. I try and practice it just to do it, but I'm like, it's going to go here, and I'm okay with it. I just need to know. For me, I know I need to figure out where my stop is going, and that's where I need to figure out where my entry is going. I do it backwards. I've always done everything ass backwards. I don't know why. So. But remember, the one thing I want you guys to get is, and I've said this to many people in the group, you cannot get a 5 pip stop loss now if you don't understand what I understand, because you're only going to frustrate yourself, and you're going to say, I took that trade, it went my way, and then you got taken out with a 5 pip stop loss. Don't do it. Remember, you come from a place of a 25 to 50 pip stop loss. So right now, you should be having a jolly old time with 15 pips. You'll get to the 5 pips. Trust me, you will. But you should be having a jolly old time with a 15 pips. So when we go do our training session, I'll be aware of that. You know what I mean? And don't be beguiled by my trades, please. Say, hey, listen, Stupid. We're not there yet. Show us how to get to a 15 pip stop loss and, where my trade will go the right direction,
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things. I mean, like, obviously, we're kind of further along our careers, if you want to call it, or part-time careers, as most people will do it, where we are with our training setups and skills. Everyone's going to learn at different paces. Everyone's going to learn stuff differently. Everyone's going to have different ideas, because, like, I guarantee if me and Kyle and Maria saw the same chart, we'll say 100 different things. But because we might not be right or wrong, it's kind of the same concept. Oh, I see this like this. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. But then you'll always get to see that, oh, hang on, I did this and differently and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like, it's weird in a sense, like how we've come from like higher stop losses. So I've seen people with like 50 odd pips or something stupid to gain 10. Is it 10 pips or something? I think that was one of the worst ones, where it was a 10 pip TP, 30 pip stop loss. Now go figure that out. And then to come to a point where if I see something more than 10, 15 pips maybe, I don't even look at it. It's just so weird. It's like, I don't want to be in drawdown. I don't want to take, that's the wrong entry.
You get a 10 with gold, Mehbz?
Sorry?
I said you get a 10 pip stop loss with gold?
Oh, no chance in hell, man.
Oh,
Not
okay.
with gold.
I was about to say. I was like, teach me, please.
Now, gold is, you know what it is? Gold is, you're looking at about 25 to
25,
30.
25, 30, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously gold just moves like a crazy thingy. And it was just so, I mean, like, gold can kill you if you don't know what you're doing, honestly speaking. So I would not suggest people to trade gold unless you know what you're exactly doing, because that can chew you up like a, sorry for the language, a bitch. Because I've been dealt so much with it. I'm sure Kyle could agree with that as well sometimes.
I mean, just this past week, I think there was one trade you caught 200 pips or something like that. I think it was you.
Yeah.
And I was literally on that same move, but it hit my stop loss. I had it a little tighter, and it just flew up. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
You think that's bad? I did. I marked up gold for a buy, and I marked it from a body to a body, and I never got the wick to wick. And I missed it by 3, 4 pips, I think it was, for about nearly 400-500 pip move that went zooming up.
Yeah.
And it literally came into that area, and I missed it because of, I don't know, just loss of concentration or something. I just totally forgot to mark the wick up. And I did send it to Jeff, and I went, Jeff, this is my area. And said, let's see if it comes. Came into it, hit that area, and boom. And that would have been less than a 10 pip stop loss. Well, it wouldn't have been in any drawdown at all. And them are the days where you got kick yourself, but then all of a sudden you brush yourself off, learn from your mistakes. That's one thing I always say: learn from mistakes. I guarantee you learn more from your losses than you do from your winners. That's one thing. And yeah, really.
How would you leave?
I'm not sure you had a question or not. Benita asked, how are we staying in continuation trades? Are you taking profits as you go? I do, especially with gold. I don't try to swing for the fences, honestly. I'll hold a trade once I take the risk off the table. So for me, usually when I get like 1.5 to my target, I'm gonna go ahead and just take 70 to 80% off, just like Jeff suggests. And then I'm gonna just let the rest ride. And a lot of times with gold, if you catch it on the right time, you can convert that to a swing. And you can kind of tell with gold, because if it finishes high to mid on the price, it's probably going to be good, because a lot of times it comes back for your stop loss. But when you can catch a swing with gold, you're gonna catch 200, 250 pips with it. But me personally, yeah, I take profits as I go. I don't hold the whole entire order.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with gold, take what you can get sometimes, because that thing can turn in an instant. You could be up by I've been up by 300, 400, 500 pips at one point, easy, without batting an eyelid and everything, and then come back about an hour later. It's like, whoa, what the hell's happened here?
Yeah,
it's just,
you guys know, I only do that. I do with EU. Honestly, I there are times I let it run to the ADR, and then I'll take some off the top, because I know it's got to pull back, and then I'll let it go. But it depends, like they say, it depends on the structure and depends on the higher time frame. So if I know on the higher time, like I said, if I know the higher time frame is going short and I'm taking it long, well, then I'm out. You know, I take my money and I run. But if I know I'm going in the direction of the higher time frame,
Yeah.
you have to expect a pullback. So if I get a pip stop loss, sometimes, you know, they'll come back and instead of being at 80 pips, I'm back at 20 pips. Well, you know, that's nice. I'm still in profit, but who the hell just want to give up 60 pips? Not me.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think that's the reason
So-
why he always suggests just close out the trade by the end of the trading day for that reason. I mean, because it's a different type of mentality you have to have when, like you said, you're up 80 pips and it comes back 20. Is it just a pullback for a bigger move? Probably is, but why not just get in, get out again? When you
and that also for me was a greed issue, you know, because I used to try and make up for my losses on that swing. So it took me, and I say it very vehemently now, I've kind of liked to learn. I've come to like the taking profit at the end of the day, and I'm out. Because guess what? Now that I actually see the setups and form the setups myself, I know I can get in on another time, you know? So for me, I'll take 50 pips and get out and then take another 50 pips another day. You know, I don't like doing that, but you know, it works, you know, and because I don't like to be on the charts a lot. That's why I don't like doing it.
I mean, yeah, definitely. One of the things is the fact that, yeah, you can be up by so much and then you could always give it back. But one thing I would realize, you're never going to get poor from taking profits. Do you know what I mean? You're always going to, if you keep constantly doing that kind of thing, if there's a, you know, for example, if it's a 150 pip move that you've taken 70, 60% of that move out, you're up by that 60, 70% of that move. Then catch the next one and the next one and the next one. And all you see is a gradual incline of like making money and everything. And that's how everyone like hopes to aspire to and become and everything. Because like sometimes you just take your money and go and don't think about it for the rest of the day or week or so. And that's how things are like, especially with new people. I think that they just expect, oh, it's going to be big, you know, look for the big 100, 200 pip moves and everything. Reasons why we probably do this and we'll probably be able to gain is because we kind of probably understand what the market's doing and why it's coming back up again, or sort of take a second trade or something along them lines. That just comes through experience and knowledge and everything, which you can be taught to a certain point, but something that I think everyone needs to go through themselves before you start taking extra trades or anything along the line. So obviously I want to talk, I do take a bit more trades than normal, but I honestly would say, listen, take the one pair, understand it, and then start taking profits at the profit levels like Jeff says. Or if it's in a consolidation zone, try not to trade it, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to manipulate you into going into a trade and taking money. That's what they're there to do. That's what it is there to do for you. It's just taking money. But what you want to do is you want to reverse engineer that and try and take their money now. And that's how we got to look at it, in the sense like, just trade what you see, not what you think. Wait till it comes into your zones, and if all your criteria is meet, then by all means take your trade with your stop loss and thing, with your risk management and everything, and just see how it goes. And you keep building that up, you'll become such a better trader in the long run, honestly speaking.
That was great, Mehbz. I'm not sure how much longer we want to keep this going, but anybody else has any questions? I'm here for a little bit longer. I'm not sure if Maria has to go.
Why don't we get Jeff to ask a question to us? Let's see.
Yeah,
if he's
I was going to
still
say, I
alive.
got a question for Jeff.
Oh, go
Hey,
ahead.
Jeff, how about you fucking make a phone call to the market makers and tell them to stop messing around with my pair? How about that? Put in a phone call. I know you got the connects.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Jeff's got like a presidential line to the market maker, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even say it enough, Jeff. Like, that's why I said it. I got so much going on, but you asked me and I'm here. I can't, you guys can't even imagine the gratitude that I feel for Jeff. It really is. I mean, it's incredible. Anytime I need him, he's there. He's so patient. He's too patient. I'm like, come on, let me clobber that guy. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'll take care of it. And it works out for him. You know how many times I've alerted him to his stuff being in some free crap, group, and he's like, it's free advertising. You know you're that good when you're like, don't worry about it, because you need the mentorship.
I'm about to say, it's funny because you can watch the videos, like if you find it online or something, but you're not nearly gonna get the same results as seeing him actually do it. It's not gonna be comparable. So
Right.
Oh.
And it's just incredible where I've come from. And I giggle at I giggle at the trade every single time I take it. And, and then I send it, like I said, I don't put it in the group, because for me, it's not about bragging to you guys, because I know that used to frustrate me. And to me, I used to look at it as, you're not in the group to learn from me. You're in the group to learn from the guy who knows better than me, so I don't want to confuse anybody, and I don't want anybody to take a trade on anything else. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is what got me to the level where I'm at, right? Those pre-market videos, I used to do my own analysis, and then I would jump in the pre-market and see what Jeff had to say about EU. And if I was in sync with EU, with Jeff, I'd be feeling good. And it took me time to get there. And once I did, I was like, man, I got this. I nailed this. You know what I mean? And because I only followed EU. And, you got to a point, like, Jeff don't know what he's talking about. And sure as shit, he does know what he's talking about, and that's how I used it. Yeah. That's how I use the pre-market. And I just said to the guys that one stupid thing that I didn't do is, because I had started out with signals, I have never, ever then, I got burnt so bad, I don't take a signal, even if it's right in front of me. So when Jeff would be in his pre-market and call it, I still wouldn't take the trade because I couldn't see it on my own. So I never utilized Jeff as a signal, service, which some of you can. Remember what I said to you. You don't need a 5 pip stop loss. You just need to know it's going to go in some type of zone and use risk management. Take it for, a 0.01 lot and use, 25 pip stop loss, just like he says. I just couldn't, I was stupid enough not to make the money, but that's where it got me where I am, is to use those to my advantage that way, not as a signal server.
Yeah, I mean, like, going on what the guys are saying, yeah, it's just the fact that you got to just train yourself into how you want to trade and all that kind of stuff. Jeff's got a lot of free contents as well. Don't get me wrong, and obviously he's got all these classes and everything that makes you, I honestly feel it's beneficial. I'm not here to sell anything or anything. It's just my personal opinion on certain things, and it just opens up a lot more doors for yourselves as a trader. Where you can see why you get in your trades and how and everything. Because one thing is, like, you can execute a trade, but you need to understand, like with anything, is why you're taking the trade, how you're taking it, and where it's going to go. And Jeff always explains all that stuff to everyone, and even on the live sessions as well. He'll turn around and says, "Nah, that's not looking right for me. If it comes up to here, I'll be interested. If it doesn't, so be it, carry on," and keep doing like that. And that's how we gotta perceive ourselves as well. It's gotta hit your criterias, and I just don't stress it enough. Like, when it hits your zone, when you see what is happening on a smaller time frame or whatever time frame you're looking at, execute your trade, understand why you're taking the trade, and understand why you're taking the trade. Because that was something that I never used to understand. It's like, why am I taking the trade? What's making me put my money on the line to get this money back and make my money? And now I get to a point where, okay, I know this is going to do this, it's going to go there, I'm going to aim for this high. If it gets there, brilliant. If it doesn't, I'll probably close it in profit anyway, because I'd rather take money and run, because that's what I want to do. I just want to take my money and just go. So as I said, guys, just stick at it. You will get there one day, hopefully sooner rather than later. And obviously we're all here to help each other as well. It's not just myself, Kyle, and Maria. There's a lot of other guys, QJ, Cassie. There's loads of other people, I'm sure, that will always help out and everything for all these new people, that doesn't understand it or anything along the lines. We're all here to help each other, because obviously what we want is like a good community-based group to, like, become so much better at trading and just become like elite traders, if that makes sense. And I say, just tap up all the resources that you have, because we probably never had as many stuff as we have now than what we had previously, like A, traders, and B, people with experience and that can talk about certain things and all that kind of stuff. Obviously Jeff was there all the time, but there's only so much one person can do. But obviously, hopefully going to the future and everything, like, we probably, as I said, if we're going to, Maria's volunteered to do trading less sessions as well, and Carl, I'm sure somebody else, myself as well, will like probably take a session where show how we trade and what we look for and everything. So basically we want to evolve everyone as well to a point where we are getting better at trading.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough money out here for everybody. So no one, the thing I love about this community is no one feels that they're better than the next person. So if I make a trade, it's not like Maria said, she's not trying to boast and brag and be like, oh, look at me, look at me. I don't like toxic groups. I've seen those type of Telegram chats. Here, everybody literally just wants to help. So we can get you guys on a certain level or help any way possible. You know, you can message me, you can message Maria, Mehbz, anybody. So literally, we just want to help and get you guys to where you want to go. And not to say that we're perfect or there's, you know, we've hit the holy grail. We're the best traders in the world, because we have a long way to go. I have a long way to go. But if I can help a certain psychology, say something that would trigger something in your head to make you a better trader, I'm all for it. So that's pretty much it for me. Take a few more questions. If anybody else wants to ask anything, we can.
How about the live trading session? Did that help you guys evolve?
Yeah, I mean, that was, for me personally, like, that was one of the big reasons why I even stuck with Jeff, is because I was watching like YouTube videos, but I didn't believe anybody made money from this, if that makes sense. I just didn't believe these YouTubers or anybody else or Instagram. I had to see it for myself. So like Maria said, like when he was doing it, I was like, it's not like how I envisioned it. I thought, you know, taking trade here, trade there, money. But here's a guy literally like, nah, I'm gonna pass on that. Nope, not today. I was like, are we ever gonna take a fucking trade? Some days.
There's a lot of downtime, in that. And because for me, I never really joined the live trade sessions because there was so much downtime. You know what I mean? And you think that because you're in every other group and you see everybody making it, you know, I always thought it was but like quick pace, just like the market. And it's not. If you really want to make money, so for me, like I stopped doing that because it would just, you know, make me antsy. And I actually was trying to get in a trade on my own, and that's where you fall flat on your face. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, if he's not taking a trade, I'm going to do it on my own. And there you go. I'm done.
And there's not many people who are even going to trade live in front of you anyways.
Right.
Just the fact that he's willing to put himself out, because that's pressure in itself, is to trade live. Because I know if I did it, I would feel a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if I could trade live in front of people just because of being critiqued or what people are thinking. So that just shows the skill level that he, and the confidence that he's able to even do it on a weekly basis, day in and day out, to trade live. So.
And again, for me, it was, I had lost so much money on those 25, 30 pip stop losses. I wasn't, because why? I wasn't using risk management. So I was trying to get, you know, money back. So even though I was using 0.1 lot sizes, everybody's like, oh, your lot size is too big. I'm like, my lot size can't be too big. You know, I had lost so much confidence that I was like, I got to concentrate and take that trade. For me, it's a concentration thing. So, you know, now I actually can send pending orders, and, you know, I don't have to be watching it, you know, so I just didn't participate in it. I do it now, honestly, to keep me out of the market. That's why I'm in there talking to you guys, because I know that my setup isn't coming. And in order to keep me busy, you know, I join in so that we can talk. And if you notice, the days that I join in, Jeff really isn't taking a trade. So we're kind of in sync. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, like, even though there's like quite a bit of downtime and everything, but still a lot of information given out. For example, like, yeah, you don't have to take a trade every single day, and whereas all these groups taking X amount of trades, I guarantee you the losses outweigh the winners. Guarantee you that. And the fact that with Jeff, it's like he's meticulous in the way that how he trades. He's very, very patient. And if we all could get to a level of like patience as he has, because he has a ton of patience, trust me. I can't envisage how much, you know, stuff that gets thrown at him or anything, but the amount of patience that guy has is unbelievable. And the way he trades is absolutely like with like patience. He waits for his setup, he waits for those things, he waits for those conditions to be met, and then you execute your trades, whether it might be a day or two, and then all of a sudden, boom, it hits on the third day or the fourth day or whatever it is, takes his trade, is out, is done. And I think that's something that we all gotta like aspire to. And in a sense, I'm not gonna say we're all perfect. We're not, you know, Jeff's standard is like really high. Honestly speaking, one of the best guys I've ever come across and I'll ever come across. And I think to get to at least say 50% of his level, you will be successful. That's all I can say. You just get to a point where you know that you're getting successful and you just be consistent. That's all it is.
All right. Anybody else here? I think another 15 minutes will probably wrap this up. If anybody else has any questions, feel free. Don't be shy. If not, I got a few questions I can run past. Maria, Mehbz, for you guys, what were some of your hardest times that you would say in your journey?
Me? Oh, bloody hell, man. How long have you got? You only got 15 minutes.
We can go
honestly
longer, I was
speaking,
just saying.
Nah, I know that. Honestly speaking, it was a point where I got too cocky, where I got too overconfident in what I was doing. Even though I got into the trades and it was going my way, I was making quite a lot of money at one point. And one Christmas, I think probably around about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I learned one of the biggest, harshest lessons ever I could learn is like holding trades. And I held it for about a week or so, and it blew my account for just being stupid. Even though I got it back to a like, I'll be honest with you, it was probably around about, I had around about $4,000 at that point, and I was roughly around about £3,500 in drawdown at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like close to blowing it then, and then it came back to around about 150 quid, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to stretch it that tad bit more. I've waited all this long. I should have just taken that loss of 150 quid and just carried on, and I'd have been fine. But as a greed came over me, I wanted the big money and all that kind of stuff, and that stung me a lot and took a lot out of me and everything. Took a while out and everything, and then got back into it again. And I think that was like one of my kind of biggest memories that I could think of, like to like teach me not to be cocky, not to be overconfident, not to think that I'm top of the world or anything along them lines, or anything like cream of the crops or whatever you want to say. And then it's just basically just be humble in yourself and be gracious in what you do and everything along the lines. And now I've come to a point where I'm not going to be doing that. Hopefully I'm not going to be doing them kind of stuff. Might have one or two lapses, which is understandable with quite a lot of people. It happens. We're all humans at the end of the day. But as long as you like minimize them kind of things and you have better days, and then I think you should be all right. I think that's it, really.
Yeah. I'll say for me quickly, personally, I think it was the first time I had a profitable month. And I think it's funny because I messaged Jeff and I was like, oh, I got to make $500 this month, my first profitable month ever. And I was so excited, man. So I took that 500 and I was working 2 jobs at the time. So I took my 500 plus the check from my second job, and I literally threw it all on one trade. I swear to God. And I think I threw maybe 2 standards on gold. Like I was up. Like I was actually about to, I could have closed the trade anytime and made some great money. And that thing came back down so fast, I couldn't even react. And I literally just sat there and didn't know what happened. And I was like, I'm never trading gold again. I'm not doing this, not doing that. But then, and it forced me to sit on the sidelines because it hurt, because not only did I just waste a month of effort, a month of my own time, I also wasted more time because I used money from my second job that I honestly, it was for trading, but I should probably use it for something else at the time. And it was a sickening feeling. And on top of that, it was like a week away from my birthday. And I was not feeling good. And that was one of the reasons why I was trying to go so hard. I was like, I deserve some money. I deserve this. And then you learn the market don't care about anything. It doesn't care about your rent. It doesn't care about if you got a car note due. It doesn't care if, you know, you have a good heart and you want to help your family out. It doesn't care. So I think that was one of the most humbling experiences. I've had a few more. I mean, that's not just the only one, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind, where I was literally forced to just sit there on the sidelines for like a few months and trade, go back to demo, or just watch the market, because I didn't want to take a trade. It's not that I couldn't, I didn't want to, if that makes sense. So that's one of the times that just stuck out to me. Probably one of the more darker times, because I did everything right for a whole month, and I just literally let it go in the span of 30 minutes. So that's just for me.
Yeah, I think we've all been there where, you know what it is, you take that long you take a whole month to build your bridges, but it takes that 1 second to break it all off.
Yeah.
And just that one trade, as you say, gold can do that to you. Any pair can do that to you. Don't get me wrong. But that was one of the things that I realized. It's like you are, as you say, man. I was on such a high. I made profit. I had like a £1,000 day at all. I was like, yeah, wicked, awesome. You know, I've got this. I've done this, etc. and everything. And then all of a sudden, boom! It's like, whoa, what did I do wrong? It's just greed. I reckon it's just greed that comes into it. Greed takes over you. As you said, market don't give a shit about you. It's there to take your money, and that's what it's doing, and that's what it always do. But you just gotta be clever enough to take the money off them as well, and that's where you gotta just be at the point, I think.
Okay. Well, I think everybody's starting to get going here, Mehbz. So if you got anything else you want to say, you can. But if you want to wrap this up, Maria.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I hope everyone's taken everything on board of what we said and everything. And always, like, you know, we're all here to help each other, as I said, whether it's Jeff, myself, Maria, Kyle, or the other experienced traders or anybody else. We're all here to help and everything, whatever we can do. I mean, like, we've done this to just try and help everyone, if that makes sense, not for our benefit. And don't get me wrong, we're not all perfect traders or anything, but as I say, we're just here to try and build a big community based and everything along them lines. So, as I say, hit us up if you want. If you don't, it's entirely up to you. We're all going to be here anyway and everything. So I just want to say thanks very much for listening to all of our, hopefully not gibberish, but hopefully taking something on board. And then, yeah, onwards and upwards, I say.
All right.
So somebody just posted something. Where did we start off in Jeff's stuff? We certainly didn't start off in the masterclass, because the masterclass is something new. We were just at a different level, and that's why the masterclass clicked for us. So I'm sure that the masterclass for everybody has probably shown them something that they've never seen before, and you're kind of like, ooh, ah. So what, you know, that's why I tell everybody, you guys got to chunk everything down. For me, see, I have all those moments of blowing my account, losing so much money and all, but for me, literally, and when I say I was self-proclaimed Helen Keller, I literally was so frustrated for years that I could not see a setup by myself. Like I just couldn't see it, no matter how much time I invested in it, how much time I looked at the charts. I just couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't see it. So if that resonates with anybody right now, and that's where you are, there is hope for you. Don't give up. It will be frustrating, but you'll get there. So for me, I started out to beat the market maker with the free stuff. We all know that guy that everybody looks at his videos for free. We don't want to mention him in here. But if you look at Jeff's stuff in the modules, that is where I would start. And, you know, I know all that stuff is kind of like basic, and it has the TDI and stuff like that, but it is the basic stuff for me. That's how I learned it. I don't know if that'll help you guys, but it really did. If beat the market maker was your core, Jeff's explanation of it is going to resonate with you. You know what I mean? And you start up from there. Like I said, it only takes one setup, just one setup. Whatever that setup is, learn it, and everything else will come into play, because it really is the matrix for me. Like now that I'm not so much worried about the money and the consistency, and I know that I can actually see the setup for myself, right? It opened up everything else for me. And when I mean I can see the setup for myself, nobody has to tell me, nobody has to show me. I don't ask for it. I don't, you know, there's no, hey, do you think this will work? Hey, it's my setup. It's mine. I can see it. If I take it, if it works, it works. If it didn't, it didn't. And that is where I started from, you know, so, and it worked for me. That's what worked for me. That one setup that I could see all by myself. And that's how I got where I am, because it took away all the anxiety and all the other stuff that was playing in your own psychology, in your own mind, that, hey, I can't see what the hell everybody else is seeing. I can't trade what everybody else is trading. Where am I going wrong? I'm on this chart every single day, 9-10 hours a day, for crying out loud, studying my ass off. You'll get there, Nikki. Trust me. Trust me. But I'm going to see if I can hold a session and maybe and maybe show you guys what I'm talking about. I don't want to do this on this kind of forum right here, but maybe, Jeff, if you can hook me up with a longer term Zoom or something like that, we can do something, and show it from a perspective of another person's eyes of where they came from. And, now I actually can explain it to you this way, but sometimes I veer off in something more advanced and you guys got to pull me back, because I talked to some of you guys individually and I realize that, and I don't mean to be that way. It's just that, when you evolve, you kind of forget, how difficult and frustrating it was for you guys. And that's what we want to kind of alleviate for you guys. That's what this session was all about,
More questions coming. What time of the week, what day of the week you guys start trading? Is it Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday for Tuesday. I mean, I'll look at every day. Usually Monday is a setup for Tuesday, but there's plenty of times where the setups roll from Friday into Monday. So I look at, I don't really have a day. I try not to trade Fridays if there's a day I have to pick, but pretty much any day is open for me if I see the setup.
Yeah,
we don't
follow. I do the same thing, Kyle. I don't follow those rules anymore. Those are rules for you guys. And I'll tell you why they're rules for you guys. If you're going to follow that rule, then this is the rule you should follow. Don't trade Mondays. Don't trade Fridays. Why? There are reasons why they say they're trap days. So if you can't understand the trap and the manipulation, then you shouldn't be trading it. So there's a reason why we don't trade. We trade any day because and like I said, I don't like to say this, we're just a little bit farther along in our journey than you are, that for us, that trap means it's going to come back and hit an order block to manipulate the stops. You know what I mean? So once we understand that, there's no more any day. There's whenever I see the setup and it hits my zone, that's when I take the trade. But for you guys, it is truth. Don't, pick a specific time, pick a specific, days that you take off. For me, in the beginning, it was no Mondays, no Fridays, and I stuck to that rule for a long time.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
All right. If there's anybody else, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just end the session. I don't see anything in the chat, really. But hope everybody got some value out of this. Everybody's looking forward to that session. I'll be there as well. But I'll go ahead and close it now. I'll put it on my YouTube and post the link in the group chat so everybody can view it for later on. And besides that, thank you, Mehbz. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Jeff, for letting us hold this.
Thank you too, brother.
Yeah. So,
is that right?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Is that right? I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll post a link so you can check it out later on. But yeah, that's it. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everybody. And hope everybody has a great weekend.
Yeah, same to you.
Stay safe, everybody.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this, and appreciate everything that you guys said. Obviously, I can't be more proud of how you guys have evolved over the years and watching you guys grow. Doing the session today and just watching you guys talk about your experiences is really, really. I can't express how awesome I feel right now. So thank you guys for doing it. I appreciate it. And I hope everyone was listening to, what they were saying and really taking it to heart, because you don't get more raw and real than this. Right. So, yeah, anyways, have a good weekend, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Jeff. Anyway. Thank guys. Bye anyway.
Bye.